My name is Chioma and this is my story. I've been married to my husband Nnamdi for 7 years. Though our marriage was never a sweet one, but we were never violent. 2 months after my brother-in-law passed away, one of my sisters-in-law brought his son Nonso to my house. According to her, she's a very busy woman and wouldn't have time to take care of Nonso. Auntie, your kids are within the same age range with this boy, so it would be easier for you to take care of him than me, I said to her. But my husband stared at me and cautioned me, saying I don't have any right to stop his nephew from living with us. I accepted Nonso. He is 3 years older than my first child, so we all live together. No one told me he was a special needs child, and I never knew. From the first day Nonso started living with us, it was as if everything in my home changed. My husband has never been a loving partner, but this time he changed for the worse. If I talked to Nonso, he would scold me. He warned that Nonso shouldn't do any house chores. I begged him to allow the boy to at least do the dishes, but he refused. Nonso was 8 years, but my husband insisted he was too young to do chores. He registered him in my children's school and they all go to school together. Then I began to notice some changes. Nonso never sat at a place. He was always running about, scattering or damaging things. I tried discussing this with my husband, but he said I never liked his nephew. Nonso was too aggressive. I became more angry when he started beating my kids for no reason. They were always scared around him and would never want to play with him. Again, I complained to my husband and he didn't do anything about it. One day, his teacher in school called my attention to some of his behaviors and suggested we should take him to a pediatrician for assessment. But then again, his uncle refused. I talked to a friend who is a medical doctor, and after assessing him, he told me Nonso has ADHD and he fears he might be autistic too. 2 days later, his teacher called and reported that Nonso had injured a classmate and so they wouldn't want him in school again. She complained about his unnecessary anger and how he hurt his classmates whenever he was angry. My husband immediately told me that I'll be going to my shop with him daily. I cried and begged him that this boy needs medical attention, that we should get a doctor to see him and if possible, start a therapy for him before he gets worse. But he refused. I don't blame you. Come on to take care of a small boy, you are complaining. I know it is because he's not your son, my husband would always say to me. Nonso became more aggressive and most times, whenever he was angry, he would destroy most of my sewing equipment in the shop and it would take some men around to hold and stop him. Most times I wonder where he gets his strength from. I reached out to my sister-in-law that brought her to us. She insulted me and told me to choose between staying with Nonso or leaving her brother's house. In all of this, I was confused because I never said they should take him out of my house. All I said was, let's get this boy medical help. What hurts me the most is the way he was hurting my children and their father does nothing about it. For 2 years, Nonso tortured me. I eventually met a doctor online who managed the little money I had and agreed to see us. After assessing him, he prescribed some drugs that he should have been taking all these years, then advised me further on how to deal with him. I purchased the drugs 3 times and couldn't continue. Then I told my husband and for the first time, I received a heartbreaking beating from him. Though he later apologized, but told me I had no right to take his nephew to a therapist or even give him drugs without his consent. There is nothing wrong with Nonso, he shouted. He is only a child. Every boy his age is known to be stubborn and strong-headed. The problem you have is that you don't like him and you are doing everything possible to push him away. I apologize for being a mother to a child that I clearly knew needed help, but I told him that Nonso was frustrating my life. His presence has destabilized my entire being. Since him and his entire family have decided to leave their burden to me, they should do the needful. I don't have a special needs child, but here I am suffering more than people that have special needs children. I was fed up, and no one told me that his condition was why his mother left him for his late father and ran away. I told him that Nonso really improved while on those medications and that he should give me money to buy more, but as always, he refused. Chioma, you have to deal with it. Let me ask you, if Nonso was your child, will you be looking for a way to get rid of him like this? Nnamdi, Nonso is not my child, I cried as hot tears ran down my face. And I am not trying to get rid of him. All I am saying is that this boy needs medical attention and we need to help him. Nonso is torturing me. He is driving me nuts and you don't want to help. My husband looked at me, smiled and walked away. Christmas came and I was to travel to my hometown for my parents' marriage anniversary. I told my husband to call any of his sisters to pick Nonso as I wouldn't be going with him to my father's house, but he insisted I must travel with him. In his words, Chioma, Nonso is your responsibility now and you must take care of him. Wow, it's alright. So Nonso is now my responsibility. I said to myself, a child that is not mine. No problem. On the day we were traveling, we had finished packing, so I drove to my husband's shop. I stopped in front of his shop and told Nonso to go in and call his uncle. He got down and went into the shop. Immediately, I saw him coming with my husband. I drove off. He called me and I told him that Nonso would be his responsibility for the next 3 weeks till I get back. He shouted and screamed, but I didn't even listen to him. Then his family started calling me. These are people that have never called me for the past 2 years that have gone through hell with their nephew. I didn't pick their calls. Around 8 p.m. that evening, my neighbor called me, shouting and crying. I asked what happened and she told me that the estate security just arrested my husband. What happened? I asked. According to her, Nonso refused to sit at a place in the shop. My husband warned him severally, but he wouldn't sit still. He angrily shouted at Nonso, and Nonso in anger broke the screen of 2 televisions and pushed down a refrigerator. As he was trying to stop him, he beat a customer that entered the shop. My husband angrily bundled him into his car and took him home. By then, he was a bit calm and he requested for food. My husband was confused because he didn't know how to cook. So he made noodles for Nonso, unknowing to him that Nonso doesn't eat noodles. When he served him the food, Nonso, instead of telling his uncle that noodles doesn't go well for him, took his phone in anger and threw it downstairs. My husband was angry. He slapped him and pushed him, and just like the speed of light, Nonso flew over the rail and landed on the floor. Apparently, his sweet uncle pushed him down a 2-story building. His head was brutally smashed, and that was the end of him. As my neighbor narrated this to me, I had goosebumps all over my body and hot tears ran down my face. I loved that boy. I took care of him. I spent the profit I made from my business on his medication, but my husband and his wealthy sisters refused to help. Sometimes I wonder if their late brother wronged them in any way, or they are just trying to treat Nonso's mother badly for leaving him for them. I quietly switched off my phone and pretended like I didn't hear what happened. The next morning, my sister-in-law called me and requested that I start coming home, but I reminded her that I am home for my parents' anniversary, so I wouldn't be there. She was about to start shouting as usual, but I called the call on her. After the festive period, my husband went to court and was charged with murder. I never knew Nonso's case was this bad and serious. Please, my dear, forgive me for not paying attention to your cries and pain. He cried. Nnamdi, how would you know when you never cared or paid attention? You said I couldn't do the easy job of taking care of your special need nephew. That easy job I did for 2 years without help, and that boy was happy and healthy. It's what you couldn't do for 5 hours. He was not my child, yet I took good care of him. Even though you and your evil family never appreciated it, I pleaded with you to help that boy, but you never listened. I pray that his soul and spirit will haunt you forever. Before they took him to prison, I gave Nnamdi divorce papers to sign, but he refused to sign them. Nnamdi, I don't care if you sign this or not, but this marriage is over, and forever you would live with the pain that you unalived the boy you were supposed to protect, your late brother's only child. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I hope you enjoy this story. If you're coming across my channel for the first time, please subscribe to my channel to support my growth. Subscription is free. And to my subscribers, thank you so much for supporting my growth. I really appreciate. I do not take your kindness for granted, and I pray that God would always and continue to bless you. Do not forget to on your notification bell for more interesting stories from Amaka's Folk Tales. Bye bye.